Hey everyone, it's Michael here at Home Health Success Academy and 10xpatientreferrals.com. And in this particular video, we're just going to really talk about some of the basics of the startup costs that you will have to incur when you're actually starting your home health or your home care company. One question you guys have to ask yourself is, do I want to have an office space, rent out an office space, a physical office space, or do I want to actually do this in my house and have a home-based business? It's a determination that you have to ask yourself. And there's something also in between that you can actually look into. I'm more of a person that I can't really do a home-based business, and the reason for that is because if I do home-based business, I get kind of lazy, so to kind of reverse engineer myself, I make sure I go outside and actually have a physical office. And, for my consulting business, of course, and it makes me travel to a lot of places. But for my home health agencies, the home care companies that I own, of course, it has to have its own offices. Now, each state is different. Some state allows you to actually have a home-based business as long as you have a separate entrance. It's handicap accessible, which allows you to do that. And then, of course, some states don't. So first things first is, to find out what are the regulations. Now, if you're going to rent out a business space, you have to be mindful. There's places where you can actually rent in an office building, right? And they have shared bathrooms and all those, shared lobbies and everything. And then there's the strip malls, right? Where you can actually have a physical space there as well. Now, the pros and cons for that is that if you actually rent out in a strip mall, but you have to find out from your landlord as well anyways, but most strip mall type of places, you actually have to pay utilities by yourself, your electricity, your gas, your water bill. You even have to pay for garbage pickup, right? You have to get your own containers to put in the back. So, if you want to save some money, technically renting a spot in a office building is nicer because there's shared costs and you don't actually have to worry about, renting out, to take care of the utilities, right? Because utilities are all kind of incorporated into your lease terms, right? So those are things that you have to think about. Now, the cost for it can vary, so, it depends on how big the facility you have. What we're seeing a lot nowadays is around, 12 to about $16 per square footage. So let's say, for example, you rent out 1,000 square foot facility, you multiply that by how much it is per square foot, divided by 12 months, and that's how much you're going to be actually paying for your physical location. It's okay to start off with a small place where you're actually just paying $300 for a 300 square foot facility, and then you can build as you grow. But if that's the place that you're going to choose, make sure you choose a place where you can actually grow inside, so you don't have to actually move out. Because I hate moving. I don't know if you love to move. I don't like to move, and so I honestly would choose if you guys can grow where you are, right? Now, here's another thing you also have to think about is that if you rent out at these strip malls, you have your own private bathroom in those facilities. But guess what? You have to maintain it. And I don't know if you're like me, I don't like cleaning the bathroom. I make sure I hire somebody to take care of the bathroom for me. And so, when you have these facilities, you want to be mindful. With the office buildings, you don't actually have to do maintenance. You don't have to actually take care of the toilets and the lobbies and all those kind of things. Just worry about your the garbage you have in your office. So that's one thing to think about when it comes to your office space. You can pay somewhere around $300 or for a 300 square foot facility, unless you decide that you want a 1,000 square foot facility, and then all of a sudden you're paying $3,000 a month. So that's where the range that you're going to be in, depending on what your choices are, and also depends on where you're located. And of course, if you're going to open up your business somewhere in New York, it's going to be a little bit far more expensive. If you're going to be in California and LA, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. And if you live in the rural areas, then of course the rent goes lower, right? It's just a determination that you guys are going to have to do. Well, like I said earlier on today about utilities, it depends on the type of facility that you have. If you have to pay for electricity, you have to pay for gas, you have to pay for, water, sewage, and as well as your garbage collections. That's going to occur if you're renting a strip mall type of a location. If you're renting an office building into an office building, then that's all kind of incorporated in the fees that you actually pay. One thing that's going to be important if you are actually going to be able to open up a business is you need internet access. It's just the truth. You need internet access, okay? It's just seriously one of the most things that you actually need. And if you don't have internet access, you can't really run a business nowadays, right? So it's all up to what type of provider you want to go for. You know, some places it's Spectrum, some places it's Comcast, some places it's AT&T. As long as you have a good internet access, it's going to be able to be helpful for you. Now, depending on the internet access, also we can start talking about your phones because nowadays with Comcast, with Spectrum, you can actually bundle everything together. So that is okay thing because you can save some money. There's other options on how to kind of save some money in the whole startup, and we're actually going to create a video that talks about how to actually save money and not pay a lot for your startup. Okay, so internet access is such an important thing. And so if you're getting internet at phone, typically you're paying somewhere around $300 average a month just for that itself, your phone, your internet. And don't forget, you need another phone line, which is for your fax. Okay, for your fax. I don't really suggest people getting an 800 number. It's just not needed nowadays. But it's up to you if that's something that you guys want. But a fax number is also important. Now, honestly, for me, wise, we don't have one of those fax machines that prints out our fax transactions that comes in. We actually incorporate an e-fax system. It just makes it easier because it goes straight to my cell phone. I can access it through there via PDF. I can access it through my computer, through my laptop, through my tablet. But you need also a fax number because that is something that's very important. So the next thing is an EMR, right? If you're starting a home health agency and medical home health agencies, of course your EMR system are going to cost a little bit higher. For non-medical home care companies, the EMR costs are a little bit lower, but I truly suggest that you guys have one. Number one is that it makes it easier. You can get access of all your information right away, whether you're in the office or you're outside in the field or you're at home if need so. Right now, there's some companies out there that are still doing paper-based systems. There's nothing wrong with that, but you are going to spend more money on printing, on toner, on pretty much a paper that you're going to be using. It's a lot harder to be able to find the files. There's more chance that you can lose files that way. So you have to make that determination. If your goal is to be able to save some money and time is important for you, and time is actually money for me, so then you want to be able to incorporate and get an EMR. Now, EMR cost varies, right? You have companies that are charging you $99 a month, and then you just have to pay per patient as you add to that. Or you have the ones that are all-inclusive where it's unlimited patients, unlimited clinicians, but of course you're paying at a higher rate. So, we're seeing somewhere in the cost of like between $200 to about $1,000 a month for your EMRs. Now, if you're asking me what's an EMR, well, it's pretty much an EMR is just your medical records. It's an electronic medical records. That's what it's called. It stores all the information about your patients, about your referral sources. And it just makes it easier for you to be able to access everything via the cloud. Okay. The next thing is you will also need what they call insurances, such as, for example, general insurance or personal liability insurance. Typically, what you're seeing with the general and personal liability insurance is somewhere around between $90 to about $200 a month, depending on how many employees you guys actually have. There's also what they call the fidelity bond, right? Which typically your cost monthly will be somewhere around close to about $20 a month, depending. And pretty much what it does is it protects the patient from any loss like theft, because the truth is you might get some of those bad seed people that's going to work for you that might steal from the patients. Of course, you have to have policy and procedures in place. You want to screen good employees, but sometimes these are things that we cannot unfortunately avoid. Okay. There's the business license. Business license meaning that, let's say, whatever city you're running your business in, you might have to get a business license with them, right? And so that typically ranges between the price of $35 to about $50, depending on the municipality that you're actually going into. There's also the state licensing, and each state has different. I've seen it where the application fee is less than $200. I've seen some states where they charge somewhere around $700 for the, licensing of your organization with them. You also need to be able to get an EIN, which is pretty much your social security number for your company, and your NPI number. So Those two things are free to be able to access, and you can definitely Google to see how I can obtain an NPI and an EIN number. Incorporation, such an important thing. You can do this on your own if you want to, and you just have to find out which state organization or what's the website to be able to set up your incorporation. Like for example, in Florida, it's sunbiz.org. If you're in, California, Illinois, it's CyberDrive Illinois, with the Secretary of State over there. So those are two things that you have to look into. Or what you can do to make it easier for you, honestly, is you can either go through a company like LegalZoom. Of course, they charge a little bit higher. You're going to be spending somewhere around $500 to be able to get everything situated, depending if you're going to be starting an LLC, an S corp, or a C corp. Then, of course, there is your marketing products, right? You want to be able to get these things in place and started when you do your startup. And so we're talking about, your brochures, right? Your business cards, right? So you can go to Vistaprint, and design it yourself and print it there yourself if you want to. But the truth is, if you're going to be putting money in your brochures, you should actually hire somebody that can actually design it better. Have nicer photos in there, because I've seen it a lot of times where I've seen some people, have Vistaprints do it. They don't have experience actually in designing, and then they design it themselves and it doesn't come out really well. It's the wrong color, it's the wrong font, they put too much information, and also at the same time as they don't spell check it as well. So if you're going to be spending hundreds of dollars into brochures, you want to be able to really invest time and money and bring the right people to actually design it for you and print it for you as well. So that's such an important thing. Don't forget your business cards. That's important as well. In other marketing videos that we actually share with people. I actually do not believe in trifold brochures anymore. I more believe in rack cards, because when was the last time that you guys actually opened up a trifold brochure? So imagine that if you are giving people brochures of your company, are they really going to open it and look at the information? People value time. So even just them opening up a brochure, that's just too much time wasted. So if I can give them a brochure that's already a rack card, meaning back and front, bullet point explanation of explaining everything that we do already, just to get your attention, right? Because no one brochure really is going to sell your business, okay? Next thing is your website, right? There's a lot of companies out there like Wix, like Squarespace, for example, where you can design your website in-house and make it a little bit easier for you. They have templates already made, so your cost can be somewhere between, I don't know, like between $100 to more than that. But you have to understand that your website should not be just your electronic or digital copy or brochure. It should be an information gathering machine, right? Because you'll be surprised what you can do with your website to be able to get more referrals. But so you can spend somewhere between $99 to close to about $2,000 if you bring in the right people to actually design it the right way for you. But it's up to you pretty much how you want to do it. I've seen some people, they say, well, I just want to get my website made now, as long as I can purchase my domain name. And then later on bring in somebody to design it better. So it's your choice on how you want to do it. Do you want to spend the money up front, or do you want to just allocate your budget on the right areas at that moment? Going back to the brochures, like I said, you can get them printed between 200 pieces to 1,000 pieces. Of course, if you print out more, the lower the cost goes. You want to make sure you design it better, but also understanding when it comes to your brochure, you want to make sure that the colors matches your website. You want to make sure that the branding strategy in your company matches and everything. And before all this, you need to be able to have a logo made, right? Now, listen, I always tell people, move away from the typical logos that everybody does. Everybody in home care will pretty much have some type of hand holding a house, or a house with a stethoscope in it, or a flower in it, or a cross in it. There's nothing wrong with that, but the thing though is, most websites, most brochures, most companies actually have same looking logos. And sometimes you go to those free logo maker companies and you end up making the same type of logo. So we want to try to recommend to you guys to avoid doing that. Maybe spending some money, paying somebody $100, $50 out there to actually design a logo. One thing I like to do with my team is, if we're designing a logo for a company that hires us, we want to give them maybe 5 different choices on logos. It just gives them a more better experience to be able to really find out which one works well for their organization. So, you need to get a logo done first before you get your website and before you get your brochures and business cards done, because you want to make sure that's incorporated in there as well. The next thing is furniture. What are the costs for furnitures? Well, there's two ways of doing things, right? There's buying those $500, $600, U-shaped, computer desk and hutch and stuff like that, and you can buy it brand new, or guess what? You can actually go to a used furniture store and spend lesser, get the same type of, furnitures, but at a used price. So you're paying 1/3 or 1/4 the typical price. Of course, there is some wear and tear on them, but it's just about saving money for yourself, right? And you can do what I've done. I actually purchased my furnitures from IKEA. IKEA is such a great place. I can really create my office space. I've even gone to, if you've been to IKEA before, you can actually go down before you hit the checkout area, and they have this used and I forgot what they call it, the as is place, where it's as is, no warranty pretty much, or scratches in it, whatever, nicks here and there. I'll buy some stuff over there, because guess what, desks will get nicked, they'll get scratches. So I don't care, what I'm spending as well. It's a matter of just making sure that we have everything that we need for the company itself in the business. Now, so furniture is up to you. So you can spend somewhere around, $200 for for furniture, and spend thousands of dollars for that. So I'm just trying to see, where can you put yourself? Are you going to put yourself in the higher range, or are you going to put yourself in the lower range? Next thing is your computers. Now, this one right here, I will not recommend you to actually, be cheap about it. You want to spend some good money with your computers. You want to make sure that the computers that you have does pretty well. And I'll honestly tell you guys, the best investment you can ever get is a Mac computer. Of course, that's coming from me. I never used to be a Mac person until my sister brought me into it. But trust me, the headaches that you'll have, by just purchasing a Mac computer is going to be way lesser than you purchase, Windows-based computer. And here's a tip. Nowadays I buy my computers as refurbished, and I just buy it from Amazon, and I can get a MacBook, for like $1,000 instead of spending $3,000. But of course, it's like a year, 2 years old, but still pretty good. But if you still want to do Windows based computers, or Chrome based computers, that's up to you guys. It's pretty much whatever works for you, right? Just because an Apple computer works for me, that doesn't mean it works for you. Whatever you feel comfortable in doing, it's really good. But it's a matter of, like, can you start your business? And if you want later on, buy nicer computers, it's up to you guys. Another thing also is, for computers for the office, I really do not even buy desktop computers no more for my office, for my workers. I prefer that they have laptops. It's just, when we have meetings, they can bring their computer with them. It just makes it a lot easier, okay? So that's one thing. Plus, also, we have an EMR system in my agency, so because of that, there's no worries about people taking home the computers, because everything is just in the cloud, pretty much, as they say. There's other small things that you guys need also. You need to make sure that you guys have a scanner, a printer in the office. In regards for that, you can spend somewhere between $50 to a little bit more than that. But honestly, my recommendation is to purchase a laser printer, right? And to be honest, if you can buy a colored laser printer, it's even a lot better. It's not that expensive. You can buy a colored laser printer nowadays for like under $200, $300. Try to get the all-in-one, where it's a fax, printer, and scanner. I just truly suggest that's something that you guys do. And if later on, when you start having a lot more clients, the next best thing to move up into is going into those really large machines that are an all-in-one. So that's something that you guys need to kind of put together. So I've seen agencies start up with spending less than $1,000 or $2,000 just for everything that they need for the startup. And I've seen agencies spend thousands and thousands of dollars as well. So it's pretty much something that you have to make a determination on. Now, we are going to be making a video on how to be able to save money, meaning how to choose the lower cost items. And we're going to share that with you in the future. So I hope this video was able to help you guys out. As you guys can see, that my throat is actually a little hoarse right now. It's a little rough. But anyways, I'm so sorry about that. But I hope that you're able to kind of gain some idea on what are the basic costs that's going to be for you to be able to start up your company. This is not one of those companies that you can just start off for $50 or $100 investment. You're going to be putting a lot of time, a lot of sweat equity, and of course, some of your own money or money that you borrow or will be lent to you into this organization. But there's nothing, there's nothing good comes up unless you're willing to work hard for it, right? And then unless you're willing to invest in it. So this is something that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope this video helps you guys so much. Understand that, our job here at Home Health Success Academy and 10xpatientreferrals.com is to be able to help companies like you, people like you, start your own companies from scratch, or to be able to bring the company that you're currently having or work for to bring it to the next level. So always understand that home health marketing is easy when you know what you're doing. Once again, this is Michael with Home Health Success Academy. If you like this video, please make a comment. If you have a question, please ask below or just go ahead and send us an email. One of the best things that you can do for me is to be able to, let me know what you feel, what you think, so that I can also share with you guys my thoughts. So if you have any questions, always understand, I'm here for you guys. Have a great day. We want to be able to invite you to our 10xpatientreferrals.com, where we have our online home health marketing academy that's going to be able to help either a home health, home care, or hospice agency increase referrals, increase their census, and create a profitable company. Now, at this very moment, you're going to have access to these information through these training, marketing to physicians, how to get to hospitals, how to be able to get into nursing homes, and much, much more at a month-to-month basis with no contracts needed. It's just month to month. Now, guess what? We are offering you guys for a limited time 50% off any one of our plans. Just choose which one is going to be able to work better for you. So just stop by the 10xpatientreferrals.com at any given moment. So these are the plans that are available, whether it's the gold, the silver, or the platinum plan. Most people go for the gold plan, but it's up to you what's going to work for you. We definitely want to be able to have you come in and work with us. So here's two choices. Go to 10xpatientreferrals.com or click the link down below. Take advantage of this right now at this very moment and sign up with us. Now, before we continue on to the video, just need to be able to take a few seconds of your time. And so we want to be able to ask you a question. Are you looking to gain more referrals for your agency, your home health, your home care, your hospice agency? We want you to be able to join us at our online marketing bootcamp that has over 7.5 hours of training. When you actually watch our bootcamp and join our online marketing bootcamp training, so sign up for a limited time at 10xpatientreferrals.com. We would like to thank our sponsors of this video, and over here at 10xpatientreferrals.com, our goal is to provide you guys amazing information on every single one of our videos. So medicationreminderprogram.com provides daily medication reminders for your patients. They call your patients twice a day to remind them to take their medications. What happens is a top reason of hospitalization for senior citizens is not taking their medications. So this program allows you to be able to keep your patients and not lose any revenue, but at the very same time, it allows you to stand out when you are marketing to other referral sources because you're providing more services, more programs than the competition around you guys. The next thing we want to be able to share with you guys is they have 3 different packages available for you at this very moment. Choose which one works for you. If you're an agency that's just starting up and you have less than 10 patients, you can go with the silver plan. Or if you have 50 patients, you can go with the gold plan. Or if you have up to 100 patients, it is only the choice to use the platinum plan. But guess what? It's up to you which one works for you guys. For a cost of as little as 33 cents per patient a day, it is worth everything for you guys. The next thing is HomeCareAnsweringService.com. It's an answering services for your agency. So if you want to be able to have us handle all the calls for you in the weekends or the off hours when your business office is closed, we can definitely do that. Or we can even answer your calls for you during the day as well. Allows you to be able to do everything for your company. So HomeCareAnsweringService.com is your solution for answering your calls on a timely manner.